Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode as we take on Marseille in the Europa League second knockout round, as well as Villarreal in between the two legs. Plenty of things to talk about in today's episode, mostly about the transfer window in January that we played through off camera. But before we get through to any of that, I want to make sure you do drop a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. The first thing to talk about though is to say a massive thank you to Greg Hearson for his contribution to the Patreon. Welcome to the Patreon, massively appreciated. Of course, if you want to be like Greg, get yourselves down in the link in the description to join the Patreon. One of the perks of the Patreon is getting to rename young players, and of course that's exactly what Greg has done. He has chosen Leon Osborne, our young left back, who actually is looking really good at 17 years old, so I expect to see him in and around the first team in a couple seasons time. Let's sit the nickname to him though, and you have chosen to be called Phoenix Herdsman, which I think is a fantastic name, to be fair. Phoenix is a class name, so welcome Phoenix, you love to see it. The next thing we'll talk about, I think, are the fixtures from in between episodes. Now, we didn't sign anyone, so I'm safe to go through the fixtures because no new names are going to pop up here. We've played a lot of games in between episodes. It's been a bit of a slog, I must say, to get through them all since you were last here for the 2-1 victory over Valencia and the 6-1 victory over Lask. We actually didn't play very well at the start of in-between episodes as we lost 2-1 to Granada in the league and then bottled the Spanish Cup first round 2-1 to Real Sociedad. So not a great start for us there, but the next 5 games were 5 wins. 4-2 against Elche, 2-1 against Athletic Bilbao, 2-1 against Sporting Gijón, 5-2 against Osasuna, and then 1-0 away from home against Barcelona, which actually isn't as impressive as it does sound because Barcelona are terrible this season. Atletico Madrid, though, are not terrible this season. They managed to beat us 4-2, but we did bounce back with a 5-1 and 2-1 victory over Eibar and Sevilla, respectively. Unfortunately, the second loss of the season, or second draw of the season, it feels like a loss, the second draw of the season to Getafe. Both games against Getafe we've drawn, so big points dropped there. But we did bounce back with a 3-0 victory over Real Valladolid. What that means for the league table is that we currently sit second, as you can see, which is obviously very good going for us. The frustrating thing is, though, if we look at past positions, right at the start of in-between episodes, Madrid slipped up. So we capitalised and went top of the table for 5 or 6 game weeks there. But after the draw and the loss to Atletico and Getafe, we've dropped back down to second. So it really is a tight battle between us and Real Madrid. But Valencia, they're right in there as well, also on 64 points. Atletico on 60 points. So really, any one of these top 4 teams could go on to win the title this season. I highly doubt Sevilla or Betis will catch us up, and Barcelona are way out of it, down on 47 points. But I told you there were transfers, and actually there were 3 players leaving the club for money, and one of them was huge. Catania had his release fee clause met of £40 million by Borussia Mönchengladbach, and if I'm honest with you, I was kind of happy to let him go for £40 million. He is a fantastic player, arguably the best centre mid that we've got, but the other 2 centre mids in Kabak and in Noak are just as good in my opinion, so it's not a huge loss losing him. And £40 million is a lot of money to get to the club as well. So actually, I was kind of happy with that one. David Perez has also left the club as well. He just was not getting any game time this season. And when he wasn't playing very well. So Galatasaray have picked him up for £8 million, rising to £10 million. And as you can see, he's doing very well for them, which I'm very happy with. But for me, for 4 or 5 years on loan, a free transfer, £8 million is great profit for David Perez. So I think that was a pretty sensible transfer to make in the grand scheme of things. He was also, I think, the 3rd highest earner at the club to be a bench player. So it was good to get him off the wage bill. And then we've also let go of Caramarco. His contract was coming to the end at the end of the season, so we were going to lose him on a free transfer until Betis said no, we'll have him for £3.5 million. So he's gone to Betis, and we've got £3.5 million for him. So in my opinion, we have made a lot of money. 53 million pounds almost actually in total sales, which is fantastic. So really happy with that. We've not brought anyone in on the grounds that Caramarco was like the backup to the backups anyway, and Perez, we never played him anyway, so really we didn't really need him. Catania, I do want to replace him. However, he left halfway through the transfer window. By that point, we didn't really have many good scout reports on centre mids, and I don't want to just sort of spunk money on someone random. So we're going to wait until summer to replace him, because we do have some decent centred backups anyway waiting to come in and play instead of him. So I'm pretty confident in the team. You'll also see that loads of players are now out on loan. Loads of them went out on loan because we got loads of bids coming in over the January transfer window. But again, they're all young players who got very little game time anyway. So for me, we haven't really weakened the squad. I mean, Catania's obviously losing here as a weakness, but we have players as good as him to play more regularly instead of him. So I think in general, we are okay. We did actually come close to losing Paulo Turner. He's our star player at the moment, and Liverpool put a huge bid in for him, getting close to that £80 million release fee clause, which is a bit scary if I'm honest with you, because we do not want to lose Paulo Turner, but we might be given a little bit of a lifeline, because after this 3-0 win that we've just had, his agent has come to me saying he wants a new contract, and if we can get the release fee clause up to over £100 million, even if that does mean paying him a lot of money, I think it's worth it. So let's go and start negotiations with Paulo Turner. He wants to be a star player, that's absolutely fine. He wants to be a stepping stone at the club, but that just means there's got to have a release fee clause in there, and every player in Spain has to have a release fee clause, so we can leave that in there, that's absolutely fine. The issue will come with wages, so let's drop it down to important player, and he accepts important player, which is quite nice. That might reduce his wage demands just a little bit. £86,000, he's currently on 37, so it's going to be a big pay increase, but we have just lost two of the highest earners at the club in Catania and in David Perez. Between them, they were like 100 grand a week, so I'm kind of happy to increase Paulo Turner's by 50 grand a week. We still save money in the long term with other players leaving the club, but we are going to drop it down. Let's drop it down to like 65 to start off with. Loyalty bonus of 2.5 million. Agent fee, push it up so he can maybe reduce his wages a little bit. Release fee clause has got to go up. 120 million. Lock it in. No less than that at all. And because we are pushing it up massively, we'll get rid of the yearly wage rise, but everything else can stay the same. I don't think he's going to be happy. He's not. His wage demands have skyrocketed to £105,000 a week. Let's bring it down. All right, let's talk £75,000 a week. You can leave in your bonuses and things like that. That's fine. If you get 30 goals and assists, you can have that sort of money. That's absolutely fine. He wants 92 now. How about 75 again? He wants 82. Let's meet in the middle at 80. Suggest he's happy. It's an expensive contract, but I cannot see anyone triggering £120 million. So I think we are safe to keep Paulo. So all the news and contract stuff out of the way, let's jump into the Europa League then, which is very exciting. And looking at this, right, honestly, any team here we can beat. Like, I am so confident that we are going to win the Europa League again this season. I should also say the omens are with us. We won the Europa League at Celtic Park, which is Celtic Stadium in Glasgow. This year, the final is at Ibrox, which is Rangers Stadium, also in Glasgow. So for me, I think it's just poetic that we go on to win 2 trophies in 2 stadiums in Glasgow. Although it'd be quite good for Celtic fans, right? Celtic are still in this competition. If they go on to win it at Ibrox, I mean, imagine how that would go down. This is the team, though, that we're going to be taking on Marseille with in the first leg. Krenta starts in goal with a backline of Varel, Weber, Rubens and Rask. Murat and Nowak in the centre of midfield with Terziev and Morelos on the wing right now, because Paulo Turner actually picked up a knock in the previous game, so isn't going to be playing in this one. Sione and Gisk lead the line, though, and we know how deadly they are in European competitions. So as kickoff is upon us here today, I expect us to score a couple of goals here. We are playing away from home, but we are, in my opinion, so much better than Marseille. So for me, we've got to be smashing them. We've got to be smashing them and getting some crucial away goals without them scoring any goals as well. And I feel like, given that we are a step above where we were when we won the Europa League, this should be routine for us nowadays. It's frustrating that we're not in the Champions League this season, because I really think we do a lot better in the Champions League this season than we did do in the previous season. Obviously, we got knocked out by was it PSG? I think it was PSG, wasn't it, in the first knockout round of the Champions League? I think, you know, in it this season we'd do a lot better and we'd be, you know, fighting for a semi-final place or something like that. But instead, no, we are in the Europa League and fighting for the title, which we should be winning. I know I keep saying it, and the more I say it, the more I'm going to jinx it, right? But It's got to happen. Like, surely it's just got to happen. When I think about how much better we are than when we were 2 years ago, like, how can we not be favourites for this? How can we not be... That's how we can't be... Oh, you can't make it up, can you? You can't make it up. Okay, 1-0 down. Not ideal, obviously, not ideal. But we are away from home. There's still a second leg to go and still a long way for this game to go as well. I'm pretty confident in our abilities as Rask gets the ball into Sione, back to Morelos. Morelos gets it across into the middle, just about. Still doesn't score though. A bit frustrating, that one. So as half-time approaches then, it's not looking great for us. We are ahead in shots and things like that, but obviously the main metric is the scoreline, which we are not ahead in right now. Although Terziev brings us back level. 14 goals for the season for him now. What a player he is turning out to be as we bring ourselves back on level terms. So heading into the second half, there aren't many goals in any of the ties so far. Just 1-0s in like a couple of games. Everything else is 0-0 still. So hopefully we can just take the second half by the scruff of its neck and score plenty of goals. As Sione gets it to Varel. Varel into the area. Varel fouled? Fouled, referee? No, apparently not. You hate to see it. Here come Marseille on the counter-attack then as Gaultier comes forward. Gaultier looking to put a ball in the middle. Nowak with a good challenge. Up towards Gis. Gis nods it on to Sione. Sione with the pace. Sione into the area. Sione brought down. Sione wins the penalty. You love to see it. Right. This is our chance to get another away goal and put ourselves up in this tie against Marseille. VAR has given the penalty. You love to see it. Who is taking it for us? It's going to be, I think, Morelos. Morelos is taking it and Morelos scores it. So there we go, we've turned it around already, which is fantastic. And can we grab another goal? Not quite yet, although Rubens gets the ball back to Morelos, into Nowak. Nowak across to Varel. Varel on the edge of the area. Go on, lads. Do so. Oh, he's nearly put it in the back of a net. That was nearly very clever. Good to see Lille beating Celtic. I really want to play against Lille at some point, because of course Anthony Ward is in goal for them. So it'd be great to play against Anthony Ward and see how he's getting on after he's spent his time at Valencia and now at Lille, obviously. In the meantime, Marseille score another one. Okay. Game on again. I've just noticed as well, RB Leipzig, because JD Meakin just scored. Oh, you'll have to see it. Kenneth Gis gets a goal for us to make it 3-2. I was just looking at the latest scores, and JD Meakin, another one of our players, or former players, has just scored for Leipzig, as you can see. So I'd like to play Lille in the quarterfinals, Leipzig in the semi-finals, and then Borussia Mönchengladbach in the final, so then we can go and beat Catania. There we go, 3-2 victory for us. You love to see it. Away from home as well, 3 away goals. Beautiful stuff. You love to see it. Paulo Turner signs his new contract as well, which is fantastic. So he's here for another 5 years or so, which is fantastic. You love to see it. Apparently, before the game against Villarreal, we have got the draws for the quarterfinals and semi-finals. So we will find out if we are going to be playing against Anthony Ward or JD Meakin or Catania again. If anything, Borussia Mönchengladbach, actually, they might be the other team that are very difficult to play against. I think us and Borussia Mönchengladbach have to be the favourites for this competition. Maybe Chelsea too, but we beat Chelsea, so I'm not too worried about them. I think Borussia Mönchengladbach could be the good teams here. Right, Borussia Mönchengladbach or Porto versus Lyon or Rayo Valladolid. Marseille or us versus Lille or Celtic. Right, this is our ticket to play against Anthony Ward. You love to see it. Please, please, please. Lille, do the job. We want to play against you and Anthony Ward again, as Dinamo or Leipzig play against Tottenham or Atalanta, and Chelsea or Levante are against Brighton or FC Copenhagen. And now it's the semi-final draw as well. So any one of these teams, including Borussia Mönchengladbach, so they of course have whatever he's called, what's he called? Catania. Why do I keep forgetting names? I don't know. They play against these teams, so of course we're not going to play against Catania or JD Meakin. It's like one of the two. We're going to get one of the two in the final, hopefully, but we do have a great chance of playing against Anthony Ward as we're drawn against Chelsea, Levante, Brighton or Copenhagen. I must say, this side of the draw that we're in is so much easier than that side of the draw. So much easier. I mean, Chelsea, obviously the difficult team there, but we've beaten them before, so we can beat them again. So I'm very confident in our side of the draw. We're winning this competition again. As we head into the game against Villarreal, though, I'm hoping for a very quick and easy game. A nice 1-0 win so we can just get straight into that Marseille game. And hopefully the goal will come now as Tyson Brown puts a free kick over the bar. Okay, maybe it's going too quick because that one free kick highlight was the only highlight of the first half. I want to score some goals, please. Can we actually do that in the second half? Villarreal looking to come forward in the first highlight of the second half, the second highlight of the game. And if they score right now, I'll be... Ooh, they nearly did. I'd be very upset if they did score from that particular highlight. But you see it happen all the time. Like they get... okay, that's not... I was going to say you see it all the time. The player gets to the byline and then they just shoot and it goes in somehow. And, well, they score from a corner there. Well, that's far from ideal. And maybe another chance for them as Varel clears the ball out from the back. Ceballos on the ball for Villarreal, though, as it looks to come straight back at us. Honestly, can we win possession back and score a goal now, please? There's Terziev, come on. Get forward quickly. Quicker than that. Quicker. Come on, cross it. Kind of. Tyson Brown, do something clever. Do something clever with it. There we go. That's something clever. Juan Morales, 35 goals this season. But with 15 minutes or so to go, like, there just aren't highlights in this game for whatever reason. I don't know why we're not playing particularly well or not doing anything. I don't really get it. Lukau on the ball. Forward to Terziev. Terziev, come on. Get it across. Come, don't hog it. What are you doing? You're just walking across the pitch. And you do... Right, Terziev. No one else can play left wing. No one else can play... Morales can play left wing. Like, but he's... No one else can play right wing. Bradbury, on you come right... I can't believe that. Get off the pitch. Despite 20 shots. 20 shots today. I can't believe we can't score more. Or is there a chance right now as Morales is fouled in the area? Not fouled in the area. Come on. Dive better than that, please. Better dive so we can win more penalties, please. I wish you could tell your players to do that. It'd be quite nice sometimes as Tyson Brown comes forward. Tyson Brown not brought down. Tyson Brown gets it out to Lukau. Lukau to put a cross into Tyson Brown. It's still not in the back of the net. How many great chances we must have had today that haven't been on highlights because there have been so few highlights today. Come on, Tyson. Come on, Tyson. Come on, Tyson. Come. Oh, you hate to see it. All right, not a great result, that one. We got FM'd a little bit there, given we had like 20 million shots, apparently. Not many of them were on highlights, though, so they can't have been very good shots, but we had plenty of them, and we go, level on points of Valencia again. They drew, which is quite nice, but we are dropping back from Real Madrid. Okay, the attention goes back to the Europa League and beating Marseille at home this time. I don't think we changed formation again. I don't think we need to make changes to the formation. I don't think we need to play the 5 at the back as much as we did in previous years because we are much better than we were 2 years ago. So for me, this should just be a case of... same old and get a big win. Good to see so many of our players out on loan doing well though. I mean the average ratings aren't great, for example, but I mean Jeremy Finley is playing for Alaves, 30 games, 8 goals. Not the best return ever, but Alaves are currently 3rd in the Spanish 2nd division, right? So they're doing really, really well. Suave the Ball is playing plenty of games at Cartagena. Cartagena are currently 10th in their division, but he's keeping plenty of clean sheets. 8 clean sheets in 28 games, which is very, very good going. Hang on. 8 clean sheets, 33 goals conceded in 28 appearances. Like, that is class. Why are they only 10th in the table? Like, why are they not higher? Because they lose games like 1-0, pretty much. Like, they'll concede a goal, they lose... Their strikers can't score. That's what it is. Axel Carter, for example, he's playing for Elche in the 1st division. So is Lewis Crowther now. So you've got 2 players playing in the Elche backline, which is fantastic for us. They can get to play and develop together, which is really good. These loan players are going to come back. They might go on loan next season or something like that again, maybe. But give them a season and a half, they will be first-team players for us. Right, we're 3-2 up against Marseille. Paulo Turner is fit again, so he's going to come back on the pitch and Morales will move back up front. Other than that, I don't think there's any change to the lineup at all from the first Marseille game, so let's get into it. Right, kickoff is upon us here today. You love to see it. 3-2 up on aggregate. We're at home, so a much stronger showing from us needed. And if we can score a nice goal early on here as Paulo Turner celebrating his new contract, doesn't really do much there. We don't score a goal anyway, so it's not too much of an exciting highlight for us. He does get the corner though, which he's going to whip into the middle and doesn't put on anyone's head, unfortunately. In the meantime, here come Marseille on a counter-attack, which Rask brings down. please only be a yellow. It's not even a yellow card. You love to see it. 9 shots we've had today compared to Marseille's 1. Today's episode has been a little bit of plenty of shots, not enough goals. It's one of those sorts of periods of the season we're starting to go into by looks of things where our strikers are a little bit ineffective as it stands right now. I can kind of forgive them for it, right? Morales is on 35 goals for the season. I think Sione must be on at least like 15 or so, something like that. So I can kind of forgive them when they go through periods where they do things like that. If only it's for a couple of games, though. If they carry on doing that for a while, that is going to be very frustrating. But for 99% of the season, they score those opportunities. It just seems like today's episode, they don't want to score those opportunities, which is a little frustrating, obviously. Rubens into Nowak, into Weber. Weber through to Morelos. Morelos, Sione. Sione gets his 16th of the season. I told he was on 15. I didn't even check that. I just guessed at 15. I thought that was kind of what he was on. He was on 15. He's now got 16 as we go 1-0 up. So very busy first half in terms of highlights, but nothing really much coming from the highlights. I think a lot of them will get edited out. But Sione with a chance to maybe make it 2 as he gets the ball in towards Morelos. It is blocked and cleared, but only as far as other Marseille players there as they lose possession. Interesting. Nowak on the ball. Paulo Turner shoots. Paulo Turner scores. That's his 15th goal of the season. I've got to say, goals are coming from all over the pitch this season. Morelos is on 35. We've just seen Sione go to 16. I know that Terziev's on 14, and now Paulo Turner picks up his 15th goal of the season. So our front four are really good. Thinking of Morelos as well, obviously the board paid for his transfer, right? The board paid for that transfer, but there was a clause in there that said after 20 league games, we owe, I think it was Valencia, £9.5 million. That came out of the transfer budget. So the transfer budget paid for his £9.5 million after 20 league appearances. So essentially, we've only paid £9.5 million for a 35-goal season striker, which is mental. Still not quite as good of a deal as Sione was. Sione was only £5 million and he got 50 goals the other season, so I think Sione's the better deal. Marseille will still want to think they've got a chance to get through this game as they look to come forward with only 20 minutes or so on the clock. They need to score 4 goals if they want to go through in that time, so I reckon they're out of this, but they'll back themselves, I'm pretty sure, as Ruben's slide tackle is very ineffective there. Come on, better than that, please, mate. As Suarez on the ball for Marseille looks to put it into the middle. Will he do it? Will he? He does it. He does it very well because they score a goal. Okay, 2-1 on the night, but it's still 5-3 on aggregate, so I am still very calm and happy. Celtic are beating Lille 2-1 right now. I think Lille won 1-0 at home in the first leg. So I think as it stands right now, Lille are going through and we get to face Anthony Ward in the next round, which is very exciting. So actually, I must say, we've had 25 shots today and only scored 2 goals, which is frustrating. The scorelines between us and Marseille have looked very tight, but actually I think the underlying match stats are heavily in our favour. And I think if we had lost this tie overall, we'd feel very aggrieved by that. But we are going through as it stands right now with 3 minutes to go. I'm pretty confident that Marseille are not going to go and score a few more goals right now. They might get 1 right now, and they nearly do, to be fair play to them, but they're not going to get another 1. We're going to win the game 2-1 and progress through 5-3 on aggregate into the quarterfinals. You love to see it. So there we go, into the quarterfinals against Lille. That is very exciting as Borussia Mönchengladbach take on Real Valladolid. Leipzig versus Tottenham and Levante versus Brighton. I tell you what, we are winning this competition, but I am really excited to see this man return to Gibraltar. Anthony Ward, good luck. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on today's video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.